Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. It's the Parent Entrepreneurs here, and today what we'll be doing is we will be continuing our investing with Max series. If you guys have not watched the previous video, I highly suggest you guys go watch that now. As a disclaimer, this is just for educational purposes only, and if you're looking for financial advice, I highly suggest you seek out a registered financial advisor. That makes sense? Let's get started. All right, so let me share my screen here with you guys. All right, make myself a little bit bigger. All right, so today what we'll be talking about is RIP Capital, Lifeis, PLGB, Weed, ACB, and Tilray. So those are the things that we talked about the last video. And what's crazy about this is that a lot of the stocks in this industry is hitting its lower lows, and that doesn't look good in the overall market, right? I know that there's inflation going on, the Silicon Valley Bank, and all that stuff going on in the States there. So maybe that's impacting the broader industry. But what we're seeing now is we're seeing lower lows for a lot of the stocks. So I'll go over RIP Capital, and you can see here in the last trading days, and you can see on February 24th, it basically hit the lower low and basically passed on the 23rd, basically passed that line where you can see here is around, the $15 range of open, high, and low of 15. Then it just kept on going down ever since then. But do you look at this volume? The volume have picked up. So 113, you can see 238, you can see here that 143, but the 23rd, you only had 23K. It was pretty dry, right? 2K and so forth. So we're seeing a lower low, and we're maintaining this, basically what you can say, the support at 12 cents. I know it did hit I believe it was this one here was the low of 11 cents. So if ever it passed the 11 cents to 10 cents, then we might see another red day where it's just going to keep going down, right? So that's what we're seeing for RIP Capital. Volume is not particularly good. It's pretty choppy. You don't see an increase of volume going up. So you're just seeing it. Okay, this one's really low, then up. You got a spike there, then low again, then you got a spike there again, right? So it did close. You can see here the last trading day, which was 12 cents, and the change was 9 cents, or sorry, 9% and 1 cent, right? And if we go to RIB here, not much going on, but you can see here the last March 27 doesn't seem like you're aware of that, but basically Scott Miracle Grow is driving the ship now, so we'll see what happens here. But the investment so far hasn't been good. Even my stocks and portfolio hasn't been doing really well for this space in quite some time now. So Lifeis, you can see for Lifeis as well here, it did hit 5 cents again, and you can see it's pretty choppy. From here you can see that 5 cents, a high of 5.5, then it's just going up and down here, 4.5 cents, and ever since it hit the 6.5 cents, that was around the beginning of March, then it just kept on going down ever since then. So even the volume is pretty choppy. We're not seeing really good news on what's going on with the stock, but they kept reiterating for Namaste or Lifeis back in the, I guess, here. So it used to be called Namaste, but you can see the news here. And they were saying Lifeis report fourth quarter financial results, so which is this one here. And people are saying looks decent. I'm scared of dilution. And people are talking about reverse split down the line. RS is my worst fear, blah, 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 blah. But if I go up here, they had pretty good news saying that Lifeis Micra debuts on Amazon.com today, which was on March 28th. So that's really good news for Lifeis, and selling in Amazon.com. And they're talking about a health tech company that leverage advancement, blah 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 blah. And basically, beginning today, consumers can purchase Cell F on Amazon in the United States and Rescue in both the United States and Canada. Cell F and Rescue are eligible for Amazon Prime free shipping. Then basically talks about their new products, right? So that's good. So at least we're getting some good news for Lifeis, but the stock itself, it's not reflecting the share price or the good news that that we just got recently, right? So it's been hovering around the 5 cent range to the 6 cents range, right? Like in here. So that's what we're seeing in Lifeis right now. Then Build GV. So you can see here that it's like super down. It's almost like down 30% last trading day. So it's at 0.025. Then you can see here it's still pretty choppy. There's no clear patterns going on. Even the volume is pretty choppy. And you can see here November 1st, 2021 was the headline for TradingView here. But if I go to BLGB on this here, we can see the Belgium Hatma announced default judgment against R&D Pharma, and this was on March 7th. So that was the old news. Then talking about what big deal 70K, and that was March 15th. A new CEO would be very nice, and the old one, go to jail. What happens when you or I rob a bank? March 29th, blah blah blah, question mark. But yeah, that's BLGB. So it's just hitting its lower low. So it's been in this range for quite some time. So the last time it was above the 4 cents range was on October last year, 2022. So for weed, we can see here no clear patterns. All I can see here was that gap down. Then it just kept on, trying to maintain this support and resistance. Then after that, once it did break, it hit a new support and resistance here. Then now we're seeing the lower lows here. So this March 31st, last trading day, I was getting alerts that weed was hitting its lower lows. So 52-week low. So that's pretty insane, right? So weed, that's what's happening there. And if I go to here, they're getting good news, right? So there, I guess, some updates. March 29th, and it says spring forward with Canopy Growth portfolio of cannabis beverage. And I click on this here, you can see that Canopy Growth Corporation, a world-leading diversified cannabis, hemp, and cannabis device company, announced today that the introduction of Canada's first-to-market cannabis-infused beverage with the naturally occurring caffeine under the Deep Space brand. Canopy is also launching 4 new flavors under the Tweed brand for springtime enjoyment. So they're getting ready for the springtime. So they talked about this Deep Space propulsion, Tweed, and so on. All right. So yeah, what I want to see is basically, if you're long, is the volume is not too bad, right? Like has that consistency. Even though the last trading day was at 940K, below 1 million. The one before that was 707, and the one before this was 1.128, sorry. But basically, I want to see volume start to pick back up, and something about the space in the US. Okay, so if I go to back here, I go to ACB, and in ACB I can see we can see the support and resistance here, but it's been below $1, and they did get some news that if they don't maintain the $1 mark for the exchange in the US there, then they're gonna get delisted, right? You can see the volume here on Friday the 31st, which was 1.41 mil. So it's still below, and it was up 5.62, and it's at below $1, which is 94 cents. And if I go to ACB here in co.ca, we'll be able to see the Aurora repurchases 47 million principal amount of the convertible notes, saving 2.6 million in annualized interest payment balance. And if you want to read to that then that would be good. Then some insiders here, right? But there was this news saying the Aurora Cannabis announced filing of the preliminary base self-prosperous. So if you click on this was on March 17th. So just there's just gonna be, I believe they were talking about the 615 securities, million of common shares, The news release does not constitute the offering of any securities for sale. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just trying to see if I can find that news saying that if they don't go above $1, then what's gonna happen is that they're gonna get basically delisted. I don't know, upside down, Veteran design. Oh yeah, here, NASDAQ listing. Newswire, Aurora provides updates on the NASDAQ listing. You can see here, World Cannabis Today. Yeah, that's what Aurora is all about. But they're saying that advising the company was not in compliance with the NASDAQ listing rule. Price of the company listed securities had closed at less than $1 per share over the last 30 consecutive business days. The minimum bid price requirements from February 8, 2023 to March 23, 2023. In accordance with NASDAQ listing rule, the company has until September 2023, being the 180 calendar day from the date of the notification letter, to regain compliance with the minimum bid price requirement. If at any time before the expiration of the compliance period, the bid price of the company share closes at or above $1 per share for a minimum of 10 consecutive business days, NASDAQ would be expected to provide written notice that the company has achieved compliance with the minimum bid price requirement, subject to NASDAQ discretion to extend such 10 days period in certain circumstances. The NASDAQ notification letter does not affect the day-to-day trading and does not result in the delisting of the company's share. Okay. Aurora shares are also listed on the Toronto Stock Exchange, and the notification letter does not affect the company compliance status with the Toronto Stock Exchange listing. So basically, yeah, so this is pretty interesting, right, for Aurora Cannabis. If they don't pass the $1 range, then they're going to get a notification. Then it's interesting here, it says the NASDAQ notification letter does not affect the day-to-day trading, so it does not affect the day-to-day trading and does not result in the delisting of the company share. So that notification letter, but they would have to maintain that $1 to be listed in the NASDAQ exchange, right? So we got to keep an eye on that, especially if you're investing in ACB. So hopefully we see ACB turn, especially if it's USD, go above $1 and meet that requirement, because if not, then not good for the company itself. And in here, let's look at the Tilray. And in Tilray, what we can see is like we're not seeing an actual downtrend. Well, Tilray, it looks like it's supporting itself real well. I know that we're in this new support and resistance, but it's just hovering through that. But we're not seeing the lower lows for Tilray. So it's doing pretty good, supporting its support and resistance and not breaking that. All right, so if I go to Tilray here, so like looks like it was up 0.3%, and they had some pretty good news as well too. You can see Alpine Beer opens tap room at Petco Park Stadium in San Diego. So if you click on this, then it talks about that news. All right, so if I go back, so they were spitting out a bunch of other good news too. So you can see Breckenridge Distillery establishes new March 31st as National Apres Day. Then you can click on this. Another great news. Then Tilray brand to announce third quarter 2023 financial results on April 10th. So another news. Then another news on March 21st, Mountain Dew Brewing expands distribution across the Northeast. Another news, right? So they're pretty active. March 16th, Tilray brand stockholders approve charter amendment to enhance corporate governance and support strategic growth plan. Another news there. And here, Sweetwater Brewing Company bring back popular triple tail tropical India Pale Ale, right? So yeah, so I mean they're very active with the news itself, so that's why they probably were able to maintain the SP or the stock price to its current level, as opposed to like weed, ACB, they've been on a downtrend, but Tilray has been maintaining its share price quite good. All right, so basically, yeah, that's what it is right now. I know it's April, the beginning of April now, so we'll see what's gonna happen in April, because April 20, 420 is coming up. We'll see how the stock reacts, and if there's any good news that is gonna happen in the federal level for the cannabis space in the US. Because if there is, then we might see a reversal trend. If not, then we might see the stocks keep going down and down. I was expecting for it, especially around January, February, March, because that's what I've seen in the past, where the stock really tends to go up. But because of a lot of things going on in a global scale, the war, the banks, right, and all that stuff going on, that's what we're seeing the stocks keep going down, right? But yeah, we'll see in the next recording in April. We'll see if there's any good news. If there is, then that's great. If not, then we just gotta keep looking at the market and keep analyzing it. So yeah, if you have any questions, definitely just message me down below, or direct message me, private message me. That's totally fine. But yeah, we'll see you next time, and take care. All right, guys. One thing I forgot about here is normally what I do is I talk about my current portfolio for the thing that we've invested in, especially starting the series. But you can see that currently it's down negative 83.20%. So for Lifeis, you can see that it's down 83 and 55%, which is negative 11,552 and 32 cents. For Rip Capital, we invested almost $1,000 for this one, and it's down negative 89.58%, which is negative 907 and 55%. So this is just unrealized loss. I haven't really basically taken out any of this yet, but if I do, then that would be realized loss. So in this case, we're super down still, more than 80%, but we'll see what happens in the next few months or even weeks, right? Because market is volatile. You just never know what happens, especially in the cannabis space. But yes, we'll see you in the next week. And if you have, if you have any questions, any inquiries, definitely message us down below or message us directly. But until then, we'll see you in the next video. All right, take care. See ya.